It's gonna make people nauseous. What's up, everybody? All right, well, we didn't announce that we were doing this at a specific time, so we're not gonna wait for people to come on. I don't think that makes too much sense, right? Because you guys can catch this as you go. This is kind of the midweek learning, so kind of learn at your own pace type thing, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So David and Angelique did an awesome call on Sunday in regards to connecting, building relationships with people, really taking an interest in who they are.
I'm following along just in case there's people that comment.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
How to present ourselves on social media so that we can create some variety in terms of our interests and what we're talking about, that we're not just pushing a product all the time, so that our new friends don't feel like all we're trying to do is sell them. There was loads of value that they added on the call on Sunday night. We learned a lot, and we're just here to offer a couple of techniques and possibly some language that you can use with these friends that you're making. And at what point do you want to talk with them about Isagenix? At what point do you ask them to take a look? At what point do you let them know that you think they'd be amazing at what you're doing? At what point do you do that? Now, some people will say build the relationship for however long and, you know, allow it to happen naturally. And some people are going to say just go right away, you know, be upfront, be forthcoming, let them know immediately. I kind of dance between the two. There's some people who I meet and right away I just say, you know what, you'd be amazing at what I do. And I use past, present, future with them. And sometimes it's not appropriate. So for example, we met a woman last week while we were out on our dog walk. We talked about health and wellness. She just moved back from the UK. We had a conversation and she and I connected, and we just went on a 2-hour walk this morning, just her and I walking our dogs. I would say out of the 2 hours of our conversation, maybe 10 minutes had to do with Isagenix and our business. That's it. And it wasn't about selling her on anything. It was more than anything telling her more about what I do and building the relationship. I don't want her to think that I'm trying to sell her, and I'm really not. I am really interested in just being her friend. And if it happens to work out and it happens to be a good fit, that over time I really start to see the qualities that would lend themselves to her being an incredible fit inside of our business, then of course I'll start to be more and more forthcoming, more and more upfront, and more direct. But every relationship is going to be a little bit different. And 4.5 years in, I've learned kind of what some of those differences are and how to pivot and move with different relationships. Whereas in the beginning, I was just a vulture and I just prospected everybody all the time. And now I've learned to wait with certain people sometimes, and some people, I just really go right at them. You'll learn to feel out different personality types as you go. Sometimes it takes making mistakes and blowing people out of the water to learn when to pull back and when to stop talking, like right now. Do you have anything to add?
No, because I was going to do that whole part, and then you were going to do the other part. So you took my part.
I didn't know. Okay, go ahead. What was your part?
Well, no. All right, so a couple of techniques, a couple of tricks, if you will, and they've got to be done authentically, and David and Angelique talked about this, but what you want to do is when you make a new friend and you guys connect on Facebook, you want to go to their profile and you want to select See First. And what that tells Facebook is you want to see their posts first. Now, why do you want to see their posts first? The reason you want to see what's going on with them first is so you can stay up to date and up to speed in their life. If their kid has a birthday, if God forbid there's an illness in their family, if they're taking a trip, you're aware of those things so that when you go to communicate with them, when you go to engage in conversation, you can open with a relevant opener. You can continue the conversation with something that says, hey, I'm paying attention to what you're doing. I'm paying attention to what you're doing. So, how then, once you've connected offline, you've connected online, you've liked some of their photos, you've chatted a little bit, how then do you get them to take a look, or how then do you ask them to take a look if there's somebody based on their social media profile, based on what they're posting, based on what their response rate is like with you, if there's somebody that you actually want to be partnered with, How then do you go about this? So, babe, what are some techniques?
Well, like, for example, this woman who I went walking with this morning, let's say her name is Susie. So I might reach out to Susie. I might shoot Susie a text, or I might give Susie a phone call, depending on the nature of our relationship. And I might say, hey, Susie, I had a really great time with you today. You know, I can't help but think that we could have some really incredible synergy in business together. Would you be open to taking a closer look at what I do? Or would you be open to taking a closer look at Isogenics?
Now notice what she didn't do. What she didn't do, you said Cindy, right?
I said Susie.
Susie. What she didn't do was she didn't send Cindy a text message that said, Susie.
Good listening.
I'll work on that. She didn't send Susie a text message that said, hey Susie, I think you would really benefit from the cellular cleansing products that my company has to offer. She didn't say, hey Susie, I think you'd love the trace amount of ashwagandha that's in our Ionix Supreme. She didn't say, hey, I think you could really benefit from a complete meal replacement shake. She did not do any of those things. What she said was, hey Susie, I can't help but think that you'd be amazing at what I do and that there could be some real synergy in business with us. Are you open to learning more about Isogenics? Now, why is that your approach?
Because I'm building a network marketing business.
So talk about that.
I don't see what I do as promoting a product. I don't promote a product. I don't sell a product.
You're not a health coach?
No.
You're not a nutritional cleansing coach?
No, I am not.
You're not a superfood cellular cleansing coach?
No.
You are not a specialist in New Zealand grass-fed whey protein?
No.
Okay, just wanted to be clear.
I don't promote a product, you guys. This is my attitude. I don't promote a product. I don't. I promote a lifestyle. I promote a lifestyle. My business is lifestyle. My business is teaching people how to create the lifestyle that they've always wanted. That's my business. My business is to build teams of people who create the lifestyle of their dreams. Now that's different for everybody. See, if I promote a lifestyle, then that encompasses a variety of lifestyles that encompasses health. What happened?
That little thing I got.
I promote a healthy lifestyle. I promote a lifestyle of freedom. I promote a lifestyle of options. I promote a lifestyle of wealth. I promote a lifestyle of travel. I promote a lifestyle of contribution. Lifestyle, it's well-rounded. I don't promote a product. And I'd encourage you guys to not take the attitude that you promote a product. If you promote a product, you're a glorified salesperson, you'll set up some customers. Okay, and this also plays to the whole like business side, product side conversation as well. I don't believe that I have people that are interested in the product side and people that are interested in the business side. I never use that language. There is no business side, there is no product side, there's only Isogenics. Isogenics is a lifestyle and that's what we can offer people.
Oh, no, I'm not trying to get in your way right now. You just keep going.
I mean, that's the basis of it.
Okay.
I never connect. Sometimes the products can be a good conversation starter, absolutely. But I'm quickly moving beyond just what the products do and more so talking about what the lifestyle can offer people.
So you send Susie a message, you say, I can't stop thinking about how amazing you might be. Notice our language, how amazing you might be at what we do. And I can't help but think that there might be some synergy between us in business. Would you be open to learning more about Isogenics? Susie says, you know what, Eden, it's really funny. I've been so curious to know more kind of about what you do. I see all your posts. I see you're traveling all the time. I see all these people that you're shouting out. I see these transformation photos. Like, yeah, actually, what is it? How does it work? Can you tell me more? What's next?
Yes. What I'd love to do is I have a couple of brief videos that will give you a lot of information, that will give you some great information. I have a couple of brief videos that will give you some great information, and then why don't we jump on a call after you watch those videos and I can answer your questions and tell you more.
Now, listen to how simple the question we ask though is. I can't help but think that you might be amazing at what we do. I really believe there's some synergy between us in business. Would you be open to learning more about Isagenix? Would you be open to taking a look at what I do? Would you be open to learning more about what we do? If the answer is anything other than yes, or some variation of yes, then guess what? They're not who you are looking for. Plain and simple, end of discussion, non-conversation, non-starter. If their response is anything outside of the framework that says yes to that question, they're not who you're looking for. And why do we say that? Because the key word in the question is open. Open. And a closed mind never reveals new doors or new opportunities. So that's just not who we're looking for.
Now, I want to point out the word synergy, because synergy is give and take. Synergy means that I bring something to the table, you bring something to the table, and in collaboration together, we could do something amazing. It doesn't carry the energy of I want something from you. I want you to buy something from me. It means that I'm going to give a little, you're going to give a little, and we're going to meet in the middle in partnership. It suggests partnership. It suggests a level playing field. It suggests equal energy that's being exchanged. I love the word synergy. So for example, I'm working with a new personal trainer. Now, I didn't want to go straight at my personal trainer because I really want to respect the boundaries of having a new personal trainer who I really enjoy working with, and I didn't want to just right off the bat prospect her. But guess what? I can't really help myself because she's amazing. And so we start talking a bit about what I do and you know, still respecting the boundaries of her being my personal trainer. And finally I said, you know what?
Wait. So hold on, because this is important. So when she's asking you, like, okay, what do you know, kind of, what do you do? Like, what are you telling her? Because I think people want to hear what our conversations sound like, kind of out and about, if you will. Right?
Yeah. So sometimes when people ask what I do, you guys,
No. In this situation, with the trainer.
It's
so
been an evolution.
Okay.
So when she first asked, I say, you know, my husband and I have a couple of businesses inside of the health and wellness space. Okay, health and wellness space. I sometimes like to leave it kind of vague and open because then they ask more questions. Well, what do you mean inside of the health and wellness space? Well, we assist people with nutrition systems, and we also show people how to create a full-time income working part-time from home. So there can be a variation. See, even there it didn't like roll off my tongue. Sometimes it rolls off my tongue, sometimes it doesn't. A lot of time when people ask me what I do out and about, I say I show people how to earn a full-time income working part-time from home. But because she's a personal trainer, because we're talking nutrition, because she's working with me on my fitness goals, I say health and wellness because I know that that's something that's going to pique her interest. But that was on our, you know, in our first session, just very surface level. And then I'll change the subject because I didn't want to get too far into it, because I didn't want to go straight at her. And then we'll talk a little bit more. And then I'll say, you know, I'll mention something about one of our products. And then I'll notice that she's drinking a shake, and I'll ask her some questions about it. And then I'll notice that she's working with me 4 days a week, and I'll ask questions like, how many other clients do you have? How many hours are you working? Gosh, you're really hustling. Wow. You're doing great as a personal trainer. That's amazing. But how many hours are you having to work? So I'm creating a little bit of pain. So I'm just dripping every time I see her. And then more questions start to get asked. And finally I said to her, I said, you know what? I brought her a couple shakes. And I never do this. And I don't recommend giving samples. It doesn't duplicate. But for me, I started to feel like she's so amazing. And I really wanted to get her foot in the door with Isagenix for her, not for me, for her. Because I know it could assist her with creating an additional income stream, that she is a hustler. She's money motivated. She's the exact type of person that could do amazing in our business. And so I brought her a couple shakes. I said, hey, I brought you a present today. I said, try some of these products. And I gave her a couple of, you know, a couple of pointers about some of the features and benefits. Just quick. We're talking like 30 seconds and change the subject. And then finally, I asked her, I said, you know what? I'm talking with her about her husband. I said, your husband and Zach would get along so well. The four of us have to go to dinner. So we made plans to go to dinner. And then guess what? Yesterday she said to me, she said, Eden, those products were amazing. How do I order some? I said, let's do this. I said, we're going to dinner on Thursday night. Let's have a business conversation about the potential synergy that we might have together. And if we see that there's some synergy, then I'm going to suggest that you get started on a full system. I said, otherwise, like, we'll just have a conversation. I can set you up with an account. You can order whatever products you want. But let's first have a business conversation.
Do you guys see the posture? Do you hear how here's a personal trainer who has a very large clientele. She has a very successful personal training business. She has all the character traits that Eden is looking for in a partner potentially. And even when she says, how do I order? Eden still doesn't give it up. She's still taking it away. She's still carrying a posture that says, here's how we do things. We are not desperate for your business. We do not require you. We do not need to sign you up. We are not looking for another buddy to drink shakes with. Why don't we have a business conversation? And then based on that, we'll talk about the best way for you to get started and you get the products in your body. How does that sound? How does that sound?
And then I changed the subject.
Now, Eden.
Yes.
How have you gotten to this point though? Because there are people on here that basically someone raises their hand and they're like, I got to sign them up. How have you gotten to a point? What does it take, and what are some things you've done? What are some things you've learned that have allowed you to get to this point? What have you observed? Who have you modeled? Like, what are some things that you've learned along the way that you can now share?
Well, one of the things I've learned is that the people who I hastily enrolled without taking them through the proper steps, without doing a proper, we call it a discovery process, basically a three-way call. It doesn't even have to be a three-way call, but a discovery call, without really learning about what their goals are, what their vision is, what their frustrations are, without really going through the process. If I hastily enrolled them because they said, hey, I'm ready to get started, those people disappear. They never do anything, they never really get it, and they never see what's possible for their lives. They never see
even as customers, how are they as customers? Same thing, right?
It's the same.
Got it.
It's the same thing. So as customers, they disappear, they don't reorder, they don't have a vested interest.
Not coachable.
They're not coachable. Okay. Every conversation I have, you guys, starts with a business conversation, top down. I start with the business opportunity in mind. And I default onto the products if they say that the business isn't for them, just like I'm doing with my trainer. Always lead with the business opportunity, and that took practice. And how did we get to the point? How did we get to the point where I lead with the opportunity? Because the first year of us building the business, we enrolled over 100 people. They were all product users. We were working 18 hours a day. We were spinning our wheels. We were enrolling loads of people, but none of them were doing anything because we were leading with the products. I was standing in the shake aisle at Whole Foods talking with people about shakes, just like I know some of you guys are too. And those conversations were never leading anywhere beyond that. It became just about a nutritional product. And guess what, guys? We have amazing nutritional products. We have the best products I've seen on the market, but they're good products in other places too. That's just reality. There are good products that are offered by other companies out there. What gives us the edge? What makes this different? What makes this a unique offering and a unique experience? When my friend, we'll call her Susie, on our dog walk this morning, she says, how is your company different than every other company? I'd be willing to bet that many of you would have answered it based on the quality of our products, and I didn't. I talked about Jim and Kathy Coover. I talked about the leadership. I talked about who's running the show. I talked about our compensation plan. I talked about how unique it is that our company invests so much in products that actually work, that they spend millions of dollars in research and development so that people can get visible results that then turn them into a referral machine. Those are the types of conversations that we have when we're asked, how is this different? We're not comparing shakes to another company. We're talking about the Coovers. We're talking about the leadership. We're talking about the systems in place. We're talking about the culture and the community and the teams. That's really what sets us apart. The fact that the products are incredible, that's a bonus. That's a slam dunk. You get these products in your body, you're going to know within 2 to 3 days how different this is. But this is different for so many other reasons.
And the part that you deny people is the part that people are praying for the most. So I love, from a business owner perspective, as an entrepreneur, I love that 83% of our base are quote unquote customers only. What I don't love, and I love, that of those 83%, hundreds of thousands of people have these life-changing physical transformations. What I don't love, though, is I don't love that they have this great transformation and they have a new body, but they have a new body in the same cubicle. They have a new body with the same amount of debt. They have a new body with their same children's college tuition hanging over their heads. They have a new body with the same abusive boss. They have a new body in a marriage that they're scared to be out of because they don't know how they can afford to live on their own. They have a new body but. And the reason they have a new body but is because people don't communicate what's really possible here. So when Eden says we don't promote a product, we promote a lifestyle, that's really true. And what's a lifestyle? A lifestyle is a style of living. So you could be fit and be miserable. You could be in incredible shape and still be suffering silently because you don't know how to pay your bills. These are all things that you guys have to consider. Most of you said yes to the products, but only consciously. Only consciously. When we're in a room and people are like, how many of you guys came for the products? And you see like 90% of the room come up, and I raise my hand also, right? Of course, just to kind of play along, but the reality is only consciously did you come here for the products. Unconsciously, you were imagining and praying for something different. Otherwise, you would have never attracted this into your life, and you'd be drinking protein powder from GNC. Let's just be real about it. Stop getting it twisted. Stop thinking that this is something that it isn't. Stop thinking that you are a nutritional cleanse coach or a health coach or a wellness expert, because you're not. You're not. You're not. If you want to go do those things, then go do those things. It's amazing. You can help a lot of people. But if you want to build a network marketing business, then you've got to sell network marketing as a business.
And guys, I want to invite you to remove the language. He's interested in the business side. She's interested in the business side. There is no business side. There is no product side. There's just Isogenics. And if you want to create a distinction between people who are raising their hands that are ready to get into action now, that are ready to create an income, then say that. Say, Susie is interested in creating an additional income with Isogenics. What do I do next? If you can remove the language of business side and product side and see it as a holistic organism, a living, breathing organism, that is Isogenics. That is made up by so many different parts. And yes, people can be interested in different aspects of it at different times, but hold the space. Hold the space as somebody right now who's interested in simply getting healthy, that at some point they'll also be interested in creating an additional income stream. Keep the conversation going. When David and Angelique talk about building relationships and connections with people, when you're doing that, ask them questions, learn about them, let them unveil themselves to you. Let them open up. Let them build that level of trust so that they can start to open up. Like on our walk this morning with this woman, I'm not sitting there pitching her, but I'm hearing from her that, she and her husband are at a crossroads. They're really looking for something that they want to do next, something that they can be passionate about. She shared with me what happened before that wasn't working. It's just asking questions and allowing some space to build and deepen a connection.
With no agenda.
With no agenda.
And no attachment.
Ask questions. Be curious. And if and when the information is shared with you where it is just burning, it is just burning for them, not for you, for them, for you, about them, for you with them in mind, not for you, not for your business, not to grow your check, not to get a commission, and not to get a double PIB, but what you could see with them in partnership with you. Hey, I can't help but think that you would be amazing at what I do and we could have some potential synergy in business. Would you be open to taking a closer look at Isogenics? Or would you be open to having a new conversation about Isogenics? I can't stop thinking about you. I can't help but think that you might be incredible at what we do. Would you be open to seeing if there's some synergy together? I've used that language with so many people for so long.
And you know what? 99% of the time what they say is, they say, yes, I'd be open. Now, do all those people get started with us?
Not right
No,
away.
Of course not. Of course not. But are we constantly planting the seed of possibility into their lives? Nonstop. That's all we do. That's all we do.
There's some people, you guys, who are going to take 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 years to come around and say yes. You might as well open the conversation. You might as well see if there's synergy.
Watch this. Pop quiz. Does anybody know how long it took me to start building a business in isogenics? Can anyone?
From the time you were introduced to the company.
Does anyone know how long it took me from the time I was introduced to the company to the time I started building a business with Eden? Does anybody know how long it took me? 2 years, says Laurel. Okay, any other guesses? Any other guesses?
I think we got to wrap this up.
Okay, we're going to wrap it up in a second. 5 years, says Bobby. 3 years, says Leslie. Eric Miller hit it because he knows this story. 7 years. It took me 7 years from the time I was first introduced to this company to build my business and to build our business. How many of you guys would be willing to wait 7 years for me to come into your organization with Eden?
Can I add something to that? The person who originally introduced him and prospected him stopped following up. She stopped following up. And years passed by, and then somebody else came into the picture and started following up. And guess who he enrolled with? He enrolled with that second person. And guess who wishes that we were in her downline? The original person who introduced him. Don't stop following up with people. Don't lose faith. Here's the thing. It's a process with everybody. And it can be a little bit like, I see it sometimes as a little bit of a game. I look up at my board, at my prospecting board, at my follow-up board, and I'm like, all right, it's been 4 years. Like, she's got to be close. I'm going to follow up. I'm going to put in my, my every 3 month, every 4 month follow-up message. I'm going to just drip on her. I'm going to see how she's doing. I'm going to make sure she knows that I'm still thinking about her. I still think that she would be amazing. And I send messages like that. I say, hey, I know that the timing hasn't been right for the last few years, but I still think that you would be amazing at what we do. Are you open to having a new conversation about isogenics? It might take 10 years. It doesn't matter. You're always going to have a list of a pipeline of people. Some of them are going to get started right away. Some of them are going to get started in 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. You might as well get the process started now. You might as well cut your teeth now. And I'll guarantee you, some of the people that have gotten started after 4 years with us of me following up, the first time I reached out to them, I sucked. I said the wrong thing. I didn't have the language. I led with the products. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what I was saying.
Your 12-page emails were amazing.
Correct. You got to give yourself the ability and the opportunity to evolve your process based on what works, based on what doesn't work, and what we'll share with you. We'll lend you our experience. I'm sure David and Angelique will agree with us in that it is the path to least resistant, the path of least resistance is to lead with the opportunity. And yes, at first you might come off network marketing or whatever, or you can just adopt our language and adopt our posture and just roll with it. Even if you feel like you don't have success yet, it's okay. Borrow the success of the people that you're working with. If you're part of our crew, borrow our success. If you're part of Angelique and David's crew, borrow their success. Tell their story. Say, hey, I'm just getting started, or I'm just starting to take this seriously, or I'm just starting to really invest some time in it because I'm tired of sitting back and watching these people continue to get results. I'm committed to doing it with them. I'm committed. There's no reason that high school dropout can go and make $1 million in this business and I can't do it. So I'm committing to learning the skills, and I'm putting together a team of people who I believe could be amazing in synergy with me and with us and with our team. Is that something you'd be open to looking at? There's a myriad of ways that you can present this conversation, but the spirit is the same.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. We know that this was kind of a pop-up training. We didn't announce what time because that's kind of how these are going to go sometimes. Please do us a favor. Tag your teams. Now, when we say tag your teams, we don't mean the people that are in your organization. Be responsible and be a good team player for the people that are in your small groups. That's what's going to help drive this down and drive people into seeing this at some point tonight or tomorrow. So make sure that your crew gets a hold of this information if you found value in it. And I think that's about it, right? Peace.